Welcome everybody to the Sleestakians Friday Show. I'm your host Lorenzo Sleestak. I can't really tell if anybody's currently in the chat right now. Looks like we've got a few viewers. And I'd like to say hello to if it's pronounced Demon. And in case you have a wrench, looks like I'm having trouble streaming over to Kick. Of course, that's to be expected the first time trying. Yeah, it looks like we're not streaming over there. So I called it the Sleestak Simulcast. We were streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and I swapped out Twitch with Kick just to see if it would work. Typically, we just get some bots over on Twitch. Every once in a while, we get an actual viewer, but when streaming to a custom location, the title is just to help you organize your streams on StreamYard. Well, it won't be sent to the platform you're streaming to. Well, that's nice. Not quite sure what that means because it's the name of the stream is the same on YouTube as it is on StreamYard. Now I'm trying to zoom out. I'm having a hard time with this today. Let's see. Don't have a very. Let's see. Welcome, George. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh, there you are. And if you folks like the insanity, please feel free to share out the
testing.
YouTube link.
Lorenzo.
Can you hear me at all?
I can't hear you.
Can't hear me at all?
Can you hear me? Can the chat hear me? Do I dilly dilly do I and do I? I'm doing Sinatra right now. Oh yeah, boy. Boy, yeah. Boy. I have no idea. All right, so let's look at little things about the show. Greetings, everybody. Exclusive, former teammate of hard-hitting female rugby player speaks out. You want to know? No, I don't want to know either. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. what's his name? Bill Willingham says that he put his fables in the public domain. Does anyone out there care? It's a diminishing product. All right, let's do this. Present screen, share screen. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Lorenzo's not around. I'm trying to share a screen and Lorenzo's not sharing it. This is a professional show, ladies and gentlemen. Professional show. What can I tell you? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so hello, Mike Brown Show. Hello, Dark Shadow Talks. Hello, Lorenzo. Okay, those are all the people in the chat. Waiting for Lorenzo to come through. And the big news of today is Bill Willingham puts fables into the public domain. Why did he do that?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's right here.
Wait, you can hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had to clear my cookies.
Oh, your cookies, eh?
Yeah.
Chocolate flavored? What flavor?
Yeah, chocolate chip. The fucking cookie monster was after me again.
Ah, chocolate chip cookies.
Hey, Shadowhawk Talks and Mike Brown. Always good to see you guys. So what are you typing up?
Well, Bill says that his stuff he's putting his stuff in the public domain.
Bill
Willingham. Fables.
Is this a comic series or a game series, Fables?
It's a book series from Vertigo.
Okay, so I got completely... Oh, books, comic books?
Yeah. 22, 21 volumes.
Wow. So I never caught, did you say Vertigo? But I heard it was really good back in the day. I don't know if they relaunched it. Like, is that one of those that they relaunched and it became kind of different, you know? George?
What? Sorry?
Is that one of those things that they relaunched and it became kind of politically correct?
Not a clue.
Vertigo?
Yeah, that's right. Vertigo, that's right.
Yeah, because it seemed like they ones who had like that Border Town book or something. Like it made it look like everybody in the like there was like one Mexican guy in the Border Town when a lot of border towns there are plenty of like Mexican Americans, you know, on the Mexico American border. But yeah, I that's really cool. That's public domain. Sounds like you can get a chance to actually read that stuff.
Yeah, something about it doesn't connect.
As to why he would do that?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That doesn't exactly make much sense. So you're typing a reply? Well, I guess I'm stating the obvious.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a second. Oh, hey, good stuff. Always a pleasure to see you as well. Got some great people in the chat. We've got, is it Day Demon? I hope I pronounced that right. The Mike Brown Shadowhawk Talks. Always great to see you as well. The Mike Brown Show. Awesome person. Another awesome person. Hosts an excellent gaming channel. And of course, Good Stuff. Good Stuff's got a fantastic channel. I think everybody here in the chat, I met through either a gaming or a comic book channel. Though I might have run across you, George, first on Twitter. I can't recall. I think I remember seeing you interact with different people in tweets. I also would see you on YouTube streams.
Okay, so let's see. So far, I drafted a letter saying regarding this. These are you declare fables in the public domain. If the already printed material is not in the public domain, then is there anything in there and then is there anything really of value, and then is there anything of value?
Is this a riddle?
No, it's a question.
So, what do you mean by
fables? Characters are spins of the public domain characters.
Oh, yeah.
Public domain fairy tale characters. Public domain stories.
You're not too fond of public people making comics off the public domain, are you?
So the question is, you declare fables in the public domain, PD. If the already printed material is not in the public domain, then is there anything of value? Question mark. The fables characters are spins, are variations of public domain stories / characters.
Oh, I'm wait a second. Like,
what value? Okay, so that's it. So you declare the fables in the public domain if if the already printed material is not in the public domain, then is there anything of value? The fables characters are variations of public domain story and / characters.
so fables are based on like actual like fables.
I fail
fairy
to
tales.
see why you gave up.
So these are his own variations of public domain characters,
Beauty and the
fairy
Beast,
tales and
all that
stuff.
stuff.
Interesting. Well, does this mean that people can get these comics for free now?
No.
Oh, it doesn't. Huh. So the comic books themselves aren't in the ones published by Vertical, aren't in public domain.
All right, it's committed. Like and repost so that way it gets maximum output.
So this is kind of confusing. So what the hell is in the public domain then? If it's so the comics themselves are still copyrighted?
Yeah, see, I don't understand what Bill's trying to say. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
So it sounds like Vertigo or whoever owns the rights would still own the rights to that variation, to the Fables variation of those characters.
Well, according to Bill, he put his works in the public domain.
Okay, so if that's true, those characters would be those variants of the characters would be public domain, not like say like if Disney did a version or whatever, that their version wouldn't be public domain because you don't own the copyright. But the Fable versions would.
It doesn't make any sense.
But the comics themselves wouldn't be public domain.
I don't know. Oh. I don't know. There's so many questions all about this.
Well, if you like what you're seeing, or if you just want some other people to be a little bit confused about what's going on, just please share out the link, the YouTube or StreamYard link. Yeah, I'm certainly confused right now. So it sounds like the message was very vague and very brief. I mean, it didn't look like a very long message from what I saw.
Oh no, it was a really long message.
Oh, it was?
Here, let me give you his Substack account.
Oh, it was on Substack.
Yeah, his Substack account. I'll put a copy address. I'll put it into the private chat. You can share it. And you can share it and read it to the audience.
I'm probably too dyslexic to read the whole thing.
No, take your time.
But,
take your time. read a couple of words, take a break, talk to the chat, read a couple more words, take a break, talk to
Oh,
the
I'm
chat.
not reading. I'm not reading this whole thing. This is totally messed up. So it's like the guy wrote a whole freaking story.
Okay, well then read a word, take a break, talk to the chat, read a word, take a break, talk to the
Well,
chat.
this is going to bore people to sleep.
Read one word, take what do you call it, the wake up pills. Read a few more words, take more wake up pills.
This is just ridiculously long. What I can see why folks can feel free to click on this, but I'll screen share it. But it's like it's
Okay. All right. Then screen share it and slowly scroll through it, and that way people can read it for themselves.
It'll take like an hour. Maybe not, but it looks so. I can see why this does seem a bit confusing. So it's Bill Willingham. Did I say that right?
Bill Willingham will.
Willingham.
He wills it.
So, and he's referring to himself in third person. Willingham sends fables into the public domain. And here's some. I don't even know what's going on. Is that like a lamb? I don't know. Like next to a lady, and also the lines laying down with a lamb and a chick. Okay. Okay, so this is wow. This is. Let's see. Is this wow. Is it even the 15th yet?
I believe I believe when he wrote that he was in Australia.
Oh, so he was in the future. Okay. He was writing this to his future self. Wow. So I'll read this one part. As of now, 15 September 2023, the comic book property called Fables, including all related Fables spin-offs and characters, is now in the public domain. What was once wholly owned by Bill Willingham is now owned by everyone for all time. It's done. And as most experts will tell you, once done, it cannot be undone. Takebacks are neither complimented nor possible. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's just looks like it goes on and on.
Yeah.
Since I can't afford to sue DC. Wow. Yeah, this is this. This found this part interesting. Philosophy in the past decade or so. My thoughts on how to reform trademark and copyright laws in this country, and others, I suppose, have undergone something of radical transformation. Sounds like it. That's me adding that part. The current laws are a mishmash of unethical backroom deals to keep trademarks and copyrights in the hands of large corporations who can largely afford to buy the outcomes they want. In my template for radical reform of those laws, I would like it if any IP is owned by its original creator for up to 20 years from the point of first publication and then goes into public domain for any and all to use. I think that was the original, wasn't that like the original copyright law in the US, like about 20 or 30 years or something?
Because people usually live only to like 15 years old back then.
Well, I heard there was like a high infant mortality rate back in the day, so that kind of drove down the estimated life expectancy. Oh, so Decepticons, Cave of Comics and Toys. I just read some of it, or just read some of it. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Well, the link's right there if anybody wants to read the full thing. It'll be interesting to see DC's response. They're owned by like is it Warner Discovery or some or whatever it's called? Is it Discovery Warner Discovery, something like that? Wait, is Vertical? Yeah, Vertical was DC Comics then. George?
Yeah. Vertical's DC Comics, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like it could. This is going to be interesting to see how this works out. I'm not sure. Not sure at all how this will work out. Anyway, if anybody wants to join us, the StreamYard link is in the YouTube chat. I'm not sure if I don't know if we're actually streaming over to Keck. I don't think so. There was some sort of error message.
What was the error message?
I can't recall. I thought I read that earlier. Oh, it might have been. No, we're not streaming over to Keck. It looks like we're not. Huh. Let's see. Oh, it says we're having trouble streaming to your destination. It is possible the stream was ended or deleted on the destination? Question mark. Oh, is it possible the stream was ended or deleted on the destination? This will also occur if the RTMP server URL or stream key is incorrect. We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved.
Lorenzo, what the hell, man? Why couldn't you, create a proper stream key?
Well, this is the first time I've tried doing that with StreamYard.
Hey, here, let me show you on something else.
I thought it was just supposed to copy and paste the stream key that they... Wait, this is your video game. I don't see a stream key.
This is the Immortal Mask video game that I'm working to create.
Once again, if you like what you're seeing, please like and share. I'm not sure how many people realize we're live. Kind of.
I feel alive. Don't you feel alive?
Yeah, I guess I do.
So, the Immortal Mask video game.
You've been making a few of these games lately.
Yeah, I created a Pong game. Watch. That was quick. Sorry. Let's try that again.
So what do you use to make these games? I mean, do you like hand code it, or is there a video game?
It's just coded.
Oh, hey, Eric and Boyd, the link's in the chat if you want to join the stream. Eric's got an excellent channel. He posts a lot of videos where he's drawing. And also, I believe hosts some live streams. But I mainly see the stuff where you're, I think it's like time-lapse videos. Hey, Henry, Gatsis, welcome. The StreamYard link is it should be pinned. You're welcome to join the panel. And folks, please like and share the stream. Help get the word out. Not sure how many people realize I'm streaming. I never know if people are getting the notifications.
But don't they know you stream it every Thursdays at 8 o'clock?
I'm not sure. Oh, you plan on doing a live stream tomorrow? Well, that's great, Eric. I'll do my best to tune in. Do folks still say tune in, or is that still in common parlance? The noise is getting a little.
All right, so that's that game. This game.
It's fun sounds, but after a while, it got a little distracting. Hey, y'all, the link should be pinned.
Oh, geez, that was quick.
Oh, so what was that game called?
Play Hard.
What's the name of the game site?
What? Play Hard.
So many gamers in the chat. We also got at least one artist, Eric and Boyd. Oh, we had good stuff in the chat earlier. Yeah. Who's the shiny hunter? It's great to see you, and happy dinosaur 8,000. Happy day to you. This goes way back to Asteroids. Atari OG says all 3D Jimmy Flash. Yeah, I still have my Atari 400, and I have a 1200 XL, which was kind of like the Edsel. It's referred to as the Edsel of Atari. Great computer in theory, but the management over at Atari messed things up. Like, kind of held the thing back, allegedly.
There you go.
One step at a time, no limit. I don't need a friend. I got more than
Music though. I'm an amateur wannabe artist.
That was quick.
Says Eric. Folks are greeting each other. Good to see you all. And please like and share the stream. Help get the word out. And feel free to join the StreamYard link. This is one of those days where there's an emergency situation and Daniel wasn't able to make it. Always good to see you, George, and everybody in the chat. Atari did rule Battlezone, Missile Command, big games once upon a time. Yeah, they had a lot of awesome games. You guys remember back when Nintendo used to release their games on Atari and other systems? So they have like Donkey Kong and other games like that. I'm trying to think. I think the original Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but maybe the original Mario Brothers games were available on Atari. Do you know, George?
I
guess I could look that up. I would probably just look for Mario Bros. Of course, Mario Bros. Is a 1983 arcade video game developed and published by Nintendo, according to Wikipedia. And I think that part's accurate. Apparently, that was available on the Nintendo R&D 1 Intelligent Systems, NES. Nintendo R&D 2. I'll have to look that up. Atari Incorporated says, 2600, 5200. Oh, this is a list of developers. That's interesting. Oh, so this is back in the day when different ports were. Well, I guess it still happens. Is there'll be like maybe a Nintendo Switch port or something, and it might not, or just a port for modern consoles, and it might not be the original developer. But back in the day, I mean, even when a game was fairly new, different companies would sometimes get like the contract to port the game to a certain system or console, as we call them nowadays. But yeah, apparently the 2600 and 5200 Ataris had the very first Mario Brothers game before the Super Mario Brothers games. Not sure what MISA. Oh, that's PC 8001. I think that's. I believe that was. That sounds like it was one of those Japanese computers.
What?
They had a bunch of computers that were named PCs, but they weren't. They weren't like DOS PCs like you typically think of now.
What were they called?
Well, this one's called the PC 8001. I'm going to look that up. I think that was. Yeah, that was a Japanese one. The PC 8000 series. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So the PC 8000 series, apparently, once again, according to Wikipedia, it started in debuted in 1979.
It did?
Wow. I remember, and it was also sold in UK, France, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, or some people call it Holland, Australia, and New Zealand. I didn't. I thought that was Japan only. The PC 8000 series. There was also a computer series called the MSX that was popular in Japan, and I believe that was developed by Microsoft.
And then what happened?
Huh?
And then what happened?
I think Windows pretty much. I think the Windows like Intel and like compatible type. What was it? The x86 series. I think that eventually caught on in Japan. Yeah, I've seen the cartridges of Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong were on the Atari 2600, says Happy Dinosaur. Yeah, I miss those days. There was certain aspects of those days. I miss the variety that they had with computers back then, but I think we're getting that with all these different. There's all sorts of different like kind of like hobbyist type, kind of like retro consoles. Some a lot of them will like play like emulator. They'll play like emulators, or you can get like a Raspberry Pi and install any number of different operating systems on that. Besides the Pi, there's some other projects. I can't even think of their names. Of course, we got like Android, iOS for like and iOS for mobile devices, Mac PC, and a gazillion kinds of Linux. And we do have a few different kinds of consoles. Of course, PlayStation, Microsoft, and the Switch are the bigger ones. Oh, the link is pinned in the link should be pinned for people to join about. So I think I don't know. I think there's I think there's a variety. Like we even have Chromebooks now. Those are somewhat Linux based. So it's not like we just have Mac and PC. We do have somewhat of a variety. So were you using computer? You were using computers back in the 80s, right? Like the old school Macs.
Yeah, I was using them for slave labor.
Oh, okay.
I was
How'd that
giving
work out?
I was giving them math questions, then they were giving me answers.
You bastard. Let's see, I'm trying to highlight Eric's message. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard today. It looks like it's all kind of a phantom mess. Oh, here we go. Eric says I try to hang out here longer, but I'm a bit tired. Hate to post it. No, go ahead. Post your links, folks. Post the links to your channels. Or you got like a buddy's channel or like a project like George got has that video game page. That's something we could post in the public chat too, so people can check that out, George.
I gotta jump. I gotta get ready for tonight's show.
Oh, okay.
All right. See you guys.
Take care. Well, George has a show in about an hour. But yeah, folks, don't worry about okay, well, people are going to be coming and going. That's fine. That's how the show typically operates. To be quite honest, I didn't quite know if I was coming or going today either. No, I didn't know at first. I wasn't feeling well, but I ended up feeling better by about an hour before the show. Yeah, folks, check out Eric's channel. And if you like it, you know what to do. Dino King launch stream in a few hours. Awesome unintelligent design. Oh, you're welcome to join us on the panel. I'll put the link in the chat again for folks who want to join. Of course, nobody has to join. But if they do, there's a link. Do you have a wrench on intelligent design? I believe you have another account where with Conquest Comics. I believe that account is modded. Let's see with this. Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize you didn't have. Yeah. So now this account is modded as well, Liam. Oh, I totally understand. I was scrambling at the last minute. That's why I did kind of a half-assed job getting the word out about tonight's show. Or this morning or afternoon. I don't know what time it is where you're at in Australia. But you don't need to tell me. I don't need to know your time zone or anything. Probably the less personal info, the better. But you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome on the stream. If not, I can totally. If you can't make it, I totally understand. That's perfectly understandable. I know you're scrambling to get ready. And folks, please like and share this stream. It really helps get the word out. As I said, I was pretty late getting the word out about tonight's stream. I never know if I post the link too early, I never know if people are just going to get the first notification when I post it, or if they'll get the second later on. Are people getting notifications for the stream at all? I'm not quite sure. I have a hard time highlighting messages. Ian says, thank you. Well, I'm glad if I could be of some help. And feel free to promote your show here. Especially now that you have a wrench. I want people to promote their stuff here. Heaven knows I promote my stuff in plenty of chats as well. Oh, I had thought I had pinned the link to the stream earlier, and apparently I hadn't pinned it in the chat. Well, that could explain why we haven't had more people joining the panel than we've had. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get the word out about the stream. I don't know if most people even realize I'm streaming. Let's see. Going to gonna look and can do this on my phone. I think it's a lot easier than sometimes it's a little bit easier when I'm on my computer to streaming, just to share the link out using my phone. That way you don't have to, I don't always like popping open a tab and trying to type that way. Get so used to typing on the phone, and I actually faster at that. I'm sharing out the link to, let's see. Hopefully we'll get more people joining. And as I keep saying, if you like what you're seeing, please like and share. I really think it's important to have a venue for people to be able to promote their stuff like this, and where they can I like to make it so that people or the viewers also get the opportunity to be part of the show, whether it be by having a wrench in the chat and being able to promote their stuff, or if they join the panel, or as some people do both. It's somebody's on a stream. It's definitely is helpful if they also post the link in the YouTube chat, so that people can visit their YouTube or Twitter or whatever social media account. I'm a bit surprised that let's see. Oh, hey, Dan Dog, welcome. Feel free to promote your channel in the chat. If you like what you're seeing, please like and share. It really is appreciated. Having kind of a difficult time getting panelists on. George Peter Gatsis was on a few minutes ago, but thus far we haven't had more any other panelists. And welcome, Chuck. Not sure why it's not highlighting your message. I'm sorry. Let's see. I go to oops. Sorry about that. I've got open my YouTube. Here we go. Now I'll just look at the chat. Did everyone take the night off? Well, so there was some sort of emergency with Daniel Vega. He's quite often the co-host. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Like last week, we had a ton of people at the beginning of the stream, and we were talking about some a topic that a lot of people had been talking about. We had RJ on from Critical Blast, and there had been a big exchange between him and another in a former comic pro from, I don't know if it was Marvel or DC, and by the name of Shane Davis. Maybe he worked for Image. I'm trying to remember what Shane. Oh, Shane actually worked with the writer of Babylon 5 on a Superman series. So he worked for DC. Oh, welcome, Mahmoud. How you doing?
Good, how about you?
And Chuck says that he's been busy lately. Has something going on tonight as well. How are you doing? Is it Mahmoud? I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, how about you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's been kind of an unusual night. It's usually there's more people on the show.
Yeah.
How have you been doing?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. What's your channel like, Ahmad? What do you talk on your channel? Do you play games?
Yeah.
So is it a gaming channel?
Yeah, the gaming sound.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm subscribed to your channel. Oh, Shane Davis has done some indie stuff, says Chuck. Yeah. So yeah, Shane Davis worked for DC Comics, and now he does makes his own comic books. And this guy Chuck says that he's not familiar with this comic book creator Shane Davis has mainstream industry work. Yeah, he did something with what's his name? J. Michael Straczynski. Did I pronounce that right? He was the writer for Babylon 5, which, or well, he was the creator of that and the head writer, I believe, as well as I believe he was like the creator or the main guy on the main person in the original She-Ra series. I mean, like the head writer or director or something. Also was involved with that show Crusade that was a spinoff of Babylon 5. I think he might have been involved with the Lost Tales, I think it was called. Another spinoff of Babylon 5. They had a few different spinoffs, and I think there's an upcoming cartoon, or maybe it's out now. Or is it a comic book? But like my friend Stu had asked Shane Davis about, or had made some sort of reply to Shane Davis, and then and I don't think Shane liked it. So what Shane did was because Stu's in his about section on Twitter, or his bio section on Twitter, it says that he works for Critical Blast. He's actually a freelancer, but so then Shane, because Stu had written kind of a sarcastic tweet, went and contacted RJ of Critical, who I believe is the editor of Critical Blast, and said, "Is this guy Stu? Does he work for you?" I'm paraphrasing. And so George Peter Gatsis had brought RJ on the panel last week to talk about it, and I interpreted the whole thing like Shane Davis was trying to get Stu fired from Critical Blast. Shane claims that wasn't his intent. It's kind of hard to know for certain. Other people said, well, Shane was just trying to look and see what if Stu was giving the right credentials, like that he actually did, was involved with Critical Blast. He submits reviews to the Critical Blast site. That's an awesome site. Covers, I believe, a few different types of entertainment. Stu does a lot of movie reviews, from my understanding. Stu's somebody who's a bit of an internet troll. I've met him in person, though. I think he's a good guy. I think his heart's in the right place. But I think he also enjoys having fun on the internet, and I can definitely understand that mentality. I like joking around with people. Sometimes my jokes, I probably take them a little too far. Maybe a little too sarcastic here and there with my tweets. But then again, it's Twitter. It's not like I'm trying to harm anybody. I just like having fun. And sometimes it's fun to stir things up a little bit. Trying to highlight the message. Okay. He did a banging cover for ISM 2, says Chuck. I'm referring to Shane Davis, I believe. That's the one I bought. Yeah. Okay, so I'm curious what you like. I mean, this isn't an interrogation. There are plenty of people I consider to be friends, people I respect, who like ISA. I'm curious what it is about the story that they like. About the ISA 1, and now there's ISM 2. I haven't read the books. I used to watch Eric July, aka Young Ripa's channel. Used to listen to his like hot takes, his opinions about about media and like things becoming too politically correct and political agendas and stuff that and when it comes to like say pop culture and stuff. I know he believes that there's kind of this kind of left-wing social justice political agenda. I definitely say that there's like what I would call a limousine liberal kind of attitude in Hollywood. I don't think of that as like the only form of liberalism. Like even when I was a kid, there was like a big division between, say, someone like Tipper Gore, former Vice President Al Gore's wife. Back when he was a senator, she was going around with the Parents Music Resource Council, and they're the ones who got the labels, put the parental advisory labels put on rock and roll albums. She described herself as a liberal Democrat because she was on with Frank Zappa, who was criticizing her because it really did seem like their agenda of that organization was censorship. But I think what they were successful with was getting the mainstream recording industry to put these parental advisory stickers on albums, which of course then made it so that kids would like see that and they I'm definitely want to buy this Ice-T album. That's what I'd see, that sticker on the album and be, oh yeah, that's the one to buy. It's like, so it's, and even Ice-T was like, the stickers, what makes the album called Gold. That's I think I'm paraphrasing his lyrics to one of his songs. He was it was definitely an interesting situation. Anyway, I think Frank Zappa and Tipper Gore were on the Oprah Winfrey show, and it just kind of he accused her of being a fundamentalist. Like he thought of her as being like, say, like a right wing Christian fundamentalist, and she's like, no, I'm a liberal Democrat. And that was kind of the weird thing back. This is back like in the 1980s, I believe. is there was this partnership between people who are kind of moralistic, who were on kind of the religious conservative side, and then there were kind of like, say, liberals, and well, they called themselves liberals, and kind of like and like, say, feminists and stuff like that, who were supposedly, so they claimed to be on the left, and yet they were working together with these, like, some of the people in the Ronald Reagan administration, and he was a Republican, to and to try to censor things. I have a hard time highlighting messages. Maybe I should just look in the chat and see. Chuck says he loved Babylon 5. Shane tried to send Stu to the principal's office, but it didn't work. Yeah, Mr. Yanafui was in the chat last week. That was pretty entertaining because he was asking RJ from Critical Blast if Stu was going to be replaced by Chat GPT. If that was if RJ was going to use that to write his reviews, the movie reviews and stuff. Mark says, I like. Oh, Chuck says Stu enjoys a good troll on X. Oh yeah, I forgot Twitter's now named X. Colonel Mark says, I like Isom 1. It's one of the worst comics I've ever read, to the point it's hilarious. Chuck says, tons of action and intrigue. Guess he's talking about the Isom series. The books aren't spoon. Don't spoon. Tons of action and intrigue. The books don't spoon feed you. They make you think, because nothing is done just for the sake of doing it. Champagne socialist is what Chuck says about what I was calling limousine liberals. Yeah, like minors couldn't drink alcohol because they raised the drinking age. Stupid ass. This is Chuck. Oh, the drinking age is kind of a strange situation in America. I think some of the European I think a lot of countries, people just families will drink alcohol with their dinner, and it's just like wine or whatever, and it's not that big of a deal. On the other hand, a lot of countries, I believe, have better public transportation than America, where in America there's an accusation that General Motors, I'll say in Minecraft, got rid of the trolley cars in, like, I think it was over 100 cities, allegedly, in Minecraft, and then like replaced them with like buses that were kind of, like diesel buses that were kind of smelly, and and then people ended up driving cars. I don't know that. I think that could be a vast oversimplification of what happened. Mark says, being a busybody comes in both left and right versions. Oh yeah, I know there's a horseshoe theory, and some people have another theory that or maybe I should say hypothesis, instead of theory. But yeah, I've actually run into, let's see, a lot of I run into quite a few friends who are like liberals or Democrats, and I know those two things aren't always the same. Who friends I know in real life who will like block me on social media. On the other hand, I probably run into a lot more like self-described conservatives or right-wingers who are like trolls and like trying to and not always like kind of the fun type of troll. I guess it all depends. I think they're having fun, so I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting to see how things work, but like I don't typically have a bunch of like I don't have like say I haven't had like liberals like brigade there in my chat because they were upset with me, but some conservative people have done that before. I don't exactly like picking teams, when it comes to politics. Well, am I actually streaming? I can't even see myself on the screen right now, so in StreamYard, so that's kind of weird. And please like, if you guys can hear me, please like and share the stream and help get the word out. I don't know what's going on today. We don't seem to. I don't know if people know I'm streaming or not. I'm going to refresh my StreamYard because I can't see anything. There we go. Now I can actually see the screen. Being a busybody comes in both left and right versions, says Mark, which I agreed with. And Chuck says, laugh out loud, I was just about to say AI. And then I said, be right back. Yeah, please like and share the stream. Help get the word out about this particularly unusual stream. If you guys have any channels or projects to promote, feel free to promote them either in the chat or you can go on the stream. I've got the StreamYard link pinned in the description. Daniel, my usual co-host, isn't available today. He had something come up at the last minute. I'll say I'll let him explain what happened sometime in the future if he chooses to do so. It was just kind of unfortunate situation beyond his control. So wonder what you guys have been up to lately. Been playing a lot of this game. I believe it's called Honkai Impact. I'm to level, what they call a trailblazer, level 60. So the characters are what's known as trailblazers. They there's a train that it's a science fiction game where people they travel through space on like an old school locomotive style spaceship, and it's got a what's a turn-based combat. It's like a kind of like an old school Japanese game, except like JRPG, but it's by the same people who made Genshin Impact. But I'm Trailblazer level 60. I mean, that's like my account's at level 60. And then I control quite a few different characters. And thus far, I haven't had to spend a cent of real world money. Like it's the difficult part is if you want to go and try to get, like, say, a popular character, it's got kind of it's loot box or gacha type system, and so it's you get a bunch of like free in-game currency, and there's a few different kinds of currency, but one of them is for I don't know, Genshin Impact, they call it wishing, for a character. Can't remember what's called in Honkai Star Rail. There's also a Honkai Impact, and I believe that's kind of like a prequel. But it's a fun game though. I've been having a blast playing Honkai Star Rail. I'm gonna try to find a picture of the train. I have pictures I've taken in the game on my phone, but I'm on my laptop, and I don't have them saved there. Name of the train is the Astral Express. It's kind of trippy. You don't really see the train actually depart. Like, you just kind of, your character just sits down and you just like you're instantly whisked away to a planet. Here's I'll find a screenshot of. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if this is a screenshot or if this is artwork that like if somebody drew this based on the game. I think things look a little different in the screenshots. Oh, welcome, Mr. Yanafui.
Hello, fellow Americans and people of the Crown. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, my fellow American?
South American.
Yes.
I don't know. I was now I was watching Big. I tried to stay, but I have a bad connection at the time, so I didn't scream more. You know, scream and scream. That's what you do in that kind of stream.
Yeah. So what's he talking about on there? I don't.
Hmm? You didn't IFAP him. You should.
No, I haven't done. I haven't done that. Is he having kind of an interesting stream?
Maybe for some people, right? I start to scream to him, so maybe that was the funny part. I don't know.
I was mentioning you earlier. I mentioned that you last week when RJ from Critical Blast was on. You asked him if he was going to replace Stu with Chat GPT.
What? What?
You don't remember making that joke in the chat? Because Stu had upset Shane Davis, and so Shane Davis had to tag Stu in the.
No.
Shane Davis had tagged RJ from Critical Blast and asked RJ if Stu was RJ's employee.
Yeah, he says something. Is this one of yours? Something like that.
Yeah.
With an alcoholic voice, Is one of yours? Something like that. Very pathetic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw that. No, yeah. I don't remember. I remember saying to you, take the wrench from Stu and all his family and RJ too. They are all colluded.
Yeah. And it turns out Stu wrote that he has in his Twitter what do they call it, bio, is so he wrote on Twitter that he writes that he works for Critical Blast, but apparently he's a freelancer.
I think no, not he works. He make how you call that? I don't know, journal. How you say? He write for that page. That's all. He didn't say he work.
He didn't use the word work?
No, I don't know. Maybe, let me see. What is his Twitter?
So apparently, it's like with a lot of people.
It says correspondent writer for criticalblast.com. Correspondent writer. What that is correspondent mean?
Grinder wasn't Grinder a gay porn site?
Grinder? What?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like Tinder, but for being busy, but the gay version.
What the hell?
Being a busybody comes with. Oh, okay. Read that before. Oh, I'm caught up with the message. Okay.
You're saying that criticalblast.com is a gay.
No.
No.
There's a site called Grinder, and that's gay, and that's a gay, not porn. It's a gay dating service. That's
okay. Why are you thinking about that?
Because didn't you say he was a grinder at Critical Blast?
No, correspondent.
Oh, I thought you said grinder. I think you said correspondent and grinder.
No, Lorenzo.
How did I hear that?
I think you are thinking too. Okay, tell me what happens to you. Do you want to get out of the closet or something?
No. So do people in England come out of the wardrobe instead?
I don't know.
Because they use the word wardrobe for closet. At least they use, like they got the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe.
Oh boy, too much. No. I'm very straight, so I'm not going to get you on your gay games, Lorenzo. Your name is gay too, Lorenzo. So too much of a macho alpha Latin name, No. But look, I don't understand. What is the meaning of correspondent writer?
So there was. Do you say grinder or writer?
Grinder. Okay, so I sound gay. It's my fault then.
Oh boy.
But can you? Okay, this is the. I send you the link.
Okay.
This is to Twitter. You know, and if you see in the bios, based bios,
Bios. Yeah,
it says
bios.
correspondent grinder.
Well, he
Correspondent
intends webs.
grinder. What?
I wonder if that means that he.
We are going to solve this.
I think it means that he writes reviews, but he's using some pretty creative language there to.
I don't know. Correspondent.
Yeah, so a correspondent. When I think of a correspondent, I think of someone who's, let's say, they work for the news, and
Yeah.
they're like in some foreign country. Let's say they're in Iraq. Or they're on
Yeah,
the
I understand.
battlefield
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever, and
I heard.
I'm the
See,
correspondent live from such and such place. I'm because I
so
think of course that might be a foreign correspondent. I don't know.
he's not
I
from
think of a
here.
correspondent as somebody who's on the scene, who's somewhere where there's some sort of action going on, like
I don't know. Maybe he's.
some newsworthy, some sort of event is going on somewhere in the world, and they've got there's a correspondent who's on the scene. But I think he means something else. I think
Maybe
he just means that he's a
maybe
reviewer.
it means he is on the spectrum. You know.
There we go. I think that's the
I'm going to.
easiest
I'm
explanation.
going. I'm going to say to you that you were calling a correspondent grinder. You know, just two. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. Does that mean that he grinds out reviews? But I still,
Maybe.
I don't like the grind. That means like, does it mean? Maybe it means he makes publish. Where the hell is Stu anyway?
In Twitter.
I wonder if Stu's at work or something.
I don't know. I can call it
He
if
should.
you want,
Yeah,
but I don't know if he's going to respond.
that'd be interesting. Because I have no idea what's going on with Stu these days. I don't. I'll just read like I read a bunch of shit posts, a bunch of troll. He'll make some sort of comment where he's trolling people on
Mhm.
Twitter, and that's what I see from Stu. Like
Yeah, you know, Stu was always a troll. So
yeah,
what do you expect? You know,
but I haven't like had like a voice chat with a guy in months. Like I don't think he's around as much as he used to be.
no, he's out. He doesn't care. No,
Yeah, and people.
he,
The funny thing is that the people he criticizes, like take it so seriously. Like like Stu criticizing them is the biggest thing in the world.
yeah, and you know what? That's the idea. You know, to get on his nerve and laugh at them, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, it's funny to see like Eric July just totally freak out about, or even Shane Davis. Just it's so funny.
Eric July freak out with everything. You know, he
Yeah,
transformed
yeah.
everything in a fight. I don't know. I don't see too much, but everything is a threat to him. I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't
he lives in
understand
a war
why.
zone. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been fighting all his life. You know, the TJs used to fight a lot for nothing. You know, that's in his blood, I think. You know, the TJs.
DJs?
Yeah,
like
related to TJ.
relate to BJ.
Yeah, that maybe that is why there is not so much of them. You know, they fight too
That's
much
a,
for
that's a,
territory.
what are you talking about?
They fight too much between each other. So
Oh, you're talking
they
about the comic artists?
no the TJs. Hmm?
The BJs?
TJs TJ.
PJ?
The fuck? Do you know TJ? The guy
I don't know.
TJ. Watch a private chat.
Let's see. Oh, TJ. Yeah. TJ, though. Sorry, I'm sorry. So TJ, yeah, he's yeah, he sometimes watches the show. I haven't seen him lately.
What? He has a show?
Oh no, he sometimes watches the show. I haven't seen him today. Oh, hey, Hargrave, welcome. Hargrave, why don't you join the stream? Yeah, I
We
don't.
bring Hargreaves so we
Yeah,
have the Lorenzo. Uh,
TJ's on here occasionally. It's
so you pussy.
interesting.
You're too afraid
Definitely
to come and face me. That's all, Hargrave.
TJ's got the most insane stories, and like he sent some dick pics to the war campaign. I think so there was that rumor going around that that's how people would join the war campaign, is they'd have to show their dick pics. So I think he just sent it to some random person.
No, they sent him with love. It was a time in the past when people went to Discord and they say they were brothers. You know, they love each other. They were, I don't know, gay on the internet. Remember?
Wasn't that just
And
last week?
and they say,
Didn't that just happen?
yeah, and they say,
I think people say
oh,
that all the time. Sorry.
we are love gay internet friends, and they start to say, okay, send me your dick pics. One of the TJs says, and the TJs send all the TJs send the picture because they thought they were friends for life, you know. But it was all a trick to control them, you know, to say, oh, okay, I have a picture of you now. I control your life. You are here. You are going to submit and say whatever you want. You know.
Yeah, it seems like a really bad idea just to send a photo of one's penis to random strangers on the internet. I don't
I
know
love.
I don't know what you're listening to, Intense Web. I guess you're just listening to the Sleestakians variety show.
I'm trying to entertain Lorenzo. That's all, because nobody else is here. That's it. That's it.
So there's, well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Yadafu. It's always fun to talk to you. Yeah, TJ's got a lot of those stories. Like,
You know, can you? I have the problem. You know, I have language issues, so I don't understand anything that the TJ says. The only thing I try to concentrate, but I lose him in the middle.
nobody
You know?
understands TJ though.
No, okay, it's not just me. So I get bored and I say, "Oh, Bobby, how can I change this?" And you try to talk to him, and he gets mad. That's all.
Well, so yeah, so now do you find like do you find his accent hard to understand, or just
Yeah,
okay? I can see that. Yeah, that can be difficult. I mean, I have a hard time sometimes understanding what you're saying. Like when you said TJ, it's like I was starting to go through every letter in the alphabet, try to figure out which one you said. Which
You
one
have to ask. You have to ask the
PJ
chat.
or BJ? What would you say?
So I understand that these species, the TJs, they have some. They talk loud. That is his form to talk, and they try to become the macho alpha. The center of attention. That's what they do. So if you want to talk with him, you have to talk louder. You have to be aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know if he's from like a big city or what the situation is. That seems to be kind of a thing, and
It's a species animal thing. Some race. Maybe it's genetic. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's genetic. So
Or maybe,
okay, for people watching, the TJ is African American or Black American,
no,
but
don't say
there's
the
plenty
word.
of Black
No.
people I
If you
know,
say-
and
if you
who have plenty of Black friends of mine who don't
No, don't
behave
say
like
that.
TJ.
You're going to be canceled.
They've already been canceled.
Call them TJs.
What am I going to get? I'm going to I don't know. I think I've already been canceled. I mean, but yeah, it's with his, but there's like white people like that, like the rapper Eminem. Gosh, he's from 8 Mile, which is a very rough street in Detroit.
But
I've been there before. I haven't stopped there, but like been in a car on 8 Mile, and that's a pretty like a real like poor area. I could see why it would be kind of people growing up there and such a poverty. Things might be pretty rough.
You know what Eminem taught us that at the end of the day, the white people sing better than DJs.
No. I don't think it. I think. Oh boy.
I'm talking about DJs. No, not other. Lorenzo?
You're not talking about like Black people in general, are you?
No, Lorenzo.
Okay, because I think
No,
TJ acts a certain way, like we were saying, very like
no. How do you imagine that
kind of macho and aggressive, and
I'm not. What do you think? I wanted you cancel Lorenzo? No,
I don't.
no
I don't.
way.
I don't. It's I'm good. I've even though I'm a lizard, I've got people of got family members who are of different colors. Oh, by the way, the Ishinobi, the link is in the description. Link is pinned in the chat. No, I think there's a situation that's I think TJ is just TJ. Like I've never quite met a person before like TJ.
But you start to see some I don't know, forms to talk, to be aggressive.
Well, yeah, I think that's a certain street culture. I don't think everybody who, I think it's kind of like if,
Yeah, they like I said, this
there's like
maybe a mutation and X gen, like the X-Men thing,
but the Irish Americans used to be like that, like
there you go. maybe
The reason why
they have some
call it a
Liam.
paddy wagon is because it was a slur against the Irish.
Yeah, they have some
Nowadays,
Irish.
I don't think anybody really cares if they're called a paddy. I mean, I
No,
don't. It's
they have
fashion like word.
they have some Irish in his genes, so that could be to solve the problem.
So the Irish.
Lorenzo, we solve
Yeah,
it with
have you ever
science.
seen that movie? There's a movie called Gangs of New York.
I haven't seen it. With DiCaprio? No. Or I don't remember.
So there were certain ethnic groups that haven't always been treated the best in the United States, and then like some of those groups were the Irish and the Italians and the Jewish people, and Gangs of New York, I think it focuses heavily on the Irish and Italian. Maybe I'm wondering if I remember focusing heavily on the Irish. The Irish used to form street gangs. Like one was called the Dead Rabbit Gang, and they would take the dead rabbit and put it on a stick and carry it around.
What does it has to be with TJ?
Oh no! But what I'm saying is like that the people, if people are in like a bad situation, if there's a lot of if there's like ethnic groups or just groups of people in general who are they're like living in like they're being oppressed and there's like a lot of poverty and stuff. Sometimes people tend to have to act like really aggressive and macho to survive.
Oh, the internet.
That's what happened with like say the Irish American. Some of the Irish Americans, I want to be very careful, formed street gangs, and the same thing happened with some of the Italians. Not all, not saying most, but with the mafia and stuff, and got involved with when alcohol was prohibited, when people couldn't buy alcohol because it was illegal. Certain ethnic groups, tended to like there was like the Italian mafia, and there were like Irish and Jewish bootleggers.
And
they would make their own alcohol and stuff and form gangs and stuff. So
what the TJs were doing in that period?
So I don't know. Like you're talking the 1920s. There was actually, I don't know if it was the 20s or 30s, but in Harlem there was what's called the Harlem Renaissance, which was a really very important cultural scene with a lot of Black American writers and musicians. A lot of really good jazz music came out of that. And
you live in the north, right?
Yeah, I've got some relatives down south. I lived in Louisiana for part of a year, and I lived in Arlington, Texas for part of a year.
Texas. Oh, okay, more center.
But that's like southwest.
Yeah, but in the north there is less DJs or not?
So things were quite interesting when I was in Louisiana, because it was part of Louisiana I was in. I lived in New Iberia near Lafayette. It was there were a lot of Cajun, people who were like originally French Canadians who had been kicked out.
But Louisiana is on the south. No, I thought you live on the north of.
But I lived in Louisiana for part of a year, just for a few months,
Oh, but
and
now,
was quite.
you live in
There
Texas.
were black and white kids at my school, and there were Cajun, like people like French Canadian ancestry.
No, but I mean, right now, where do you live?
Oh, I live in Michigan.
Michigan. Where is that? In the north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the north.
There. So where I live is kind of a smaller city. It's not very. There's not very many people of different ancestry. Definitely not too many lizard men walking around like myself.
You live next to Ohio.
Well,
With
I also live
that,
next to Ontario, where George lives, up in
but you have to cross.
Canada.
I think you have to cross something. Maybe the river or not. You have a bridge to get to Ontario.
Here, Ernesto.
Do you have to
Okay.
cross Houston? Maybe no. No, Hugtown. No, I don't know.
Houston.
No. Sorry, I know. I'm
So
Hiawatha National Forest. Man, Chep lives in there.
not sure where that's at.
Huh?
Oh, hey Tim, welcome. I've got the link is in the chat. I mean it's pinned to the chat. Oh.
Oh, you have a city called Gaylord?
Yeah, it's actually called Gaylord. Well, some people pronounce it Gaylord, but most people just call it Gaylord. Yeah, it's people dress up in like German style lederhosen. A festival called the Alpenfest. It's
Okay.
the whole city is modeled after, or at least the downtown, the stores downtown, or the city center. They're made to look like
Village
like
people.
a Swiss German town from like say
Very
the Swiss Alps.
very funny people, in shorts.
Well, they wear
Gaylord.
lederhosen. Are
I
you
gonna
familiar with lederhosen?
I wanted to meet people in Gaylord, Vanderbilt, Wolverine, and Indian River.
It's an interesting area, Gaylord, or Gaylord, as some people pronounce it.
You have Waters, Frederick, Grayling. What is that?
I live in
Sonaca.
Traverse City. It's we do have an Indian. We do have a couple of Indian reservations. We've got some Anishinaabe people.
Do you have a place to play games, blackjack, and
Yeah, we've
hookers?
got a couple. There's the turtle. What is it called? There's a casino in Acme, which is it's like the name of the Roadrunner.
Oh no!
A Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner,
Yeah.
and the coyote would always buy these products that would malfunction, and he'd buy it from the Acme Corporation.
What the hell? Who the hell put the names of these towns?
Yeah, so it's the same name, but
Troy. You have Troy next to Detroit.
yeah, I don't know much about Troy. Isn't that further south though?
Yeah, no, man. You had Basie, no, Samhain, Milan, Hart, Ludington, Reed
Wait,
City,
did you say there's a place named Cock?
Cock City, yeah.
What about have you seen Hell, Michigan yet?
No,
It actually phrases Hell actually phrases it over. in the
Whoa.
winter.
You know.
So if
Aussie.
somebody says, "Well, I'll do that when hell freezes over," it's like, well, that it freezes over every year.
Rapid City. And the Garfield. Do you have a, a part called Maple City? You know, that's a
Yeah,
rich
yeah, I've been
town.
to Maple City before,
You know,
and
Bensonia,
Gaylord.
Arcadia,
Gaylord.
Fairly.
I've been to.
Frankfurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a really a beautiful town. That's it, it, I think there might be some German Americans who settled there. Um, there definitely are. Yeah, I've got
Oh,
some of my German lizard
oh,
relatives live there.
Lorenzo, can we have a minute to pray for Tim Borgini too, who lost his Twitter account?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so we pray for you.
yeah.
We sorry for your loss
We'll
too.
pray
Okay,
for the soul
okay,
of your
continue.
account.
For account.
Yeah,
Jesus, man.
you're welcome to join us though.
One Kama, Maniste, Filler, Free Soil. What the hell? Pen Water, Silver Lake, Green Lake. Where do you live? Close to the sea or a lake or something? No.
Um, I'm close to Lake Michigan.
Where is Michigan? Oh, but you live in Michigan, right?
Yeah, but there's also Lake Superior up north in what we call the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
But I mean,
I live in northern Michigan, but I live in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula. Then we got this Upper Peninsula,
I know.
and the people
But
there are like they kind of talk like George.
oh no, that would
Or
that sound
maybe they might even be more Canadian sounding than George.
that would sound horrible. But I mean, look,
Yeah,
look.
we got people there. They're called the Youpers.
Oh boy, that's so.
There's even a band called the Youpers.
Did you live
Hello,
close to the
welcome, Carol.
Gaylord?
I've been to Gaylord before.
No, but did you live close next to Gaylord, near? No.
Well, it's I don't I'm trying to I'll do a search and see how far it is from.
Okay, but let me say something more from how you say, Mr. Pleasant.
Oh,
Midland.
Mount Pleasant.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a college town, I believe. Yeah, I think that's where uh it's CMU, Central Michigan University is. I think a lot of teachers go there.
Yeah, you have a name in Spanish, San Luis Alma. How you say
Huh.
that? San Luis Alma, it says. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, that's interesting.
No, San Luis. Oh, okay, sorry. There are two places different. Alma is another one.
Oh,
So San
yeah, I've
Luis.
heard of Alma. We have a St. Louis
Yeah.
because there's the one I'm familiar with is in Missouri. I think they might pronounce it Missouri. Everybody, so we used to have a lot of regional accents in America. Unfortunately, television in the 20th century, radio and television, I think, started kind of eroding our dialect. We started having fewer dialects.
So did
People
you live
try to
close?
talk like the radio and TV announcers.
Did you live close to Brooklyn? No.
Brooklyn? You mean like? Wait, that's
Or Manchester? Or Homer?
Honor.
Homer, like Homer Simpson.
Oh, we have a town called Honor around here.
Homer. or what? It's difficult to find where you live.
Wait, the Traverse City? It's in Grand Traverse County.
Grand Transverse? Trans? Uh, I give up. Do you know Troy?
Troy, Michigan?
Yeah?
I think that's to the south of here.
Oh, in the south. So you,
But Grand Traverse, I believe, is the French pronunciation of this
okay.
county. So this used to be, I think it used to be part of a New France. I mean, I think it used to be a French colony. Michigan used to be a French colony.
And Romeo?
Huh?
How you say municipio? How you say that in English?
I don't know. Do you see marsupial?
Municipio.
You'd have to spell these names out.
Municipality. No, I don't think you say that. State. No. It says Municipio de Clinton. Municipio de Harris.
I have no idea where you're talking.
Let me,
Which region you're? You'd have to show me a map and then like point at.
let me see.
I don't know how that would work.
I will show you the map. Wait, let me see.
Because I think people are getting really confused, or at least the host is.
The house maybe.
I'm already confused though.
Wait a second. Oh no. So, what else can you see? Say to me. Yeah, here I have the map. I have to share.
Yeah. You have to go to present and share it.
Oh boy, how can I? This. So there you have.
So do they have a Spanish version of this, or is streaming it all in English?
No, it changed things. Look, it says Municipio de Waterfall. Water.
Huh, I'm gonna try to. Okay, here we go. So now
Moby
it's
Dick.
Moby
Moby Dick.
I don't know where. So that's named after the fish. There's that book Moby Dick.
No, really.
Never read it. It's like this guy's chasing not a fish, but a whale.
I think that was Liam. No? Liam, yeah. Was hunting.
Yeah, Liam was in the chat earlier.
Huh?
Liam was in the chat earlier. I gave him a wrench.
Oh boy, you're lost.
The Well Red doesn't have a wrench. He's one of the few people. Well Red will never. I don't think he'll ever get a wrench. He'd have to be nice to me like one time. Just even being. He's never been nice to me in the chat.
Oh well,
I have no clue. I think he's just trying to become popular with Oh, that's
what?
So that's the city of Independence? Is that what it means?
But I don't know what it says. Municipio. It could
Does
be
that
capital.
Is it
capital. I don't know. I don't know how you say municipio in English. You know.
Would that be a municipality?
Baker, Kroger, the Eternal Mother Temple. What the hell is this? What? This seems nice. Really? No? Have you seen this?
Where is that located?
It's in your city.
Wait, doesn't make. Wait, what?
Oh, it disappeared. Well,
I don't think that's in Traverse City.
okay. How can I?
The Eternal Mother. What?
How can I? West Cannon Road. Do you know that?
The Eternal Mother's Chapel.
Osmond Lake. You see? Kenneth Pontiac,
What,
blah, blah, blah. Oh.
I don't even know where the hell. What city is that? This
Pontiac,
is not
Michigan.
Traverse City.
Michigan is the state, right? And Pontiac is a city? I don't know. How you call
So,
that?
what is? What does it say on the left side of the screen? It says Pontiac, Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, the Eternal Mother Temple in Pontiac. Well, that's different. That's a Hindu. We've got a Hindu temple in
Yeah,
Pontiac.
Hindu.
Oh, so Pontiac's down near Detroit. That's
Maybe
down
it's,
straight for me.
we should
That's
ask Ro, you know? He know about his stuff. Maybe he's from here, not from Canada, you know? And maybe he's part of the Gaylord community, you know? Or jalapenos. What the hell? Jalapenos. Sheila Mercury, you know? If you want to eat some aliens. No?
yeah. It looks like you're just kind of looking at like random spots in Michigan.
Kroger, do you know some part of this with Lake Angelus? Val Monte Recreation State Area. Springfield. Aha. This is it.
That's where the Simpsons live.
The Simpsons live in Michigan. I didn't know that. Knew that.
Isn't there one like
Springfield.
in Indiana or in Illinois or something that it's supposed to be based upon?
I don't know.
Oh wait, I'm asking
We have proof.
Diane about
We have
geography.
we have the receipts. You know,
Let's see.
it's south.
Yeah, I
of
don't know about.
Flint. Look, Carol saying it's south of Flint, north of Detroit. Yeah.
Lansing, that's her. Okay, Lansing on the left side of the screen. Well, I guess that's to the west.
So did you live?
So Lansing is so that's a long ways from where I live. But Lansing, that's our state capital.
Okay.
That's where the state government is.
So where do you live here, Lawrence?
I live north of there. You're
Here?
gonna have to move
Here?
move further up there in the.
Aha, you
Okay,
live in the
so on the
Gaylord.
left side corner, left of where your cursor is, it says Traverse City.
Yeah?
There we go. That's where.
Oh, it seems. Oh, you have a beach? Do you have a beach? Look.
No, we got beaches. Yeah, so that's there's Lake Michigan, and then there's Grand Traverse Bay that connects to it.
Oh, you have the marina here.
So yeah.
Yeah, it looks
So
like a
that's
bahia. How you say
Grand
bahia?
Traverse Bay, and that connects to Lake Michigan.
Where West Arm Grand Traverse Bay? I don't know.
Yeah,
Grand Arm Traverse.
and that
So,
connects to That's
yeah, it
that's
could
basically
be.
part of Lake Michigan.
It looks a very good place to put the I don't know the battle stations chips. I don't know the battle chips in here. You know, to attack other places. Oh no, but this is a lake, right?
We do have a cannon outside our courthouse, unless they removed it. Maybe that's not there. They removed some of the really cool stuff from our from the Traverse City local we have city governments. We've got county, which is a bigger like a city can be part of a county, but it can even be part of more than one county. It's kind of confusing. Then we've got state governments, and that's how things are in the United States. Hey, Mike.
This is connected to the Atlantic or not? This is by river, maybe, or not?
I don't think I don't know. But well, the Great Lakes are they're freshwater lakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks nice.
Um,
This is. Can you do you have beaches in here or not? Or no, there is
We have
no.
all sorts of beaches across Michigan. We have a ton of. Look at all those lakes all around.
Yeah, but
No,
you
those are
can
just big ones.
taste the sun
They're
and
called the Great Lakes
so
because they're so big.
maybe it's Crystal Lake by here.
We have a Crystal Lake.
Oh no,
That's not far. We have one not far from where I live.
I would not go to there. Yeah,
It's,
to swim maybe. Shh, shh,
oh,
shh,
it's
shh.
beautiful.
Shh.
Was it who was it? Was it Jason or was it Freddy Krueger or which one of those guys? Was
Jason,
Jason who hung
Jason
out
live
with
here in Crystal Lake.
yeah. There's a few of them here in the United States.
Mike Wheeler says, sorry. Mike Wheeler says, yeah, a lot of beaches. That's the sky. That's kind of the where I live. I love the beaches.
I love the bitches too.
Good to know.
I think you're talking about beaches.
Beaches, 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 beaches. No,
Yeah.
the song.
Kind of sounded like you said something else.
What? I was singing. Oh no! That's Crystal Lake, Illinois, not Michigan. So no, there is another criminal here, another wacko killing people.
Yeah, there's a few Crystal Lakes.
Oh no, Carol, beaches, not beaches. No, we're not saying that kind of word. We are Christian people who don't talk like that. So Lawrence, we are going to dox you because we know where you live now. No. So let me see. George So let me ask you. This is not so. Is how can I say? Did you live far from Canada here, or you can say it's close?
So there's a couple of spots that of Michigan that I know of that connect to Canada. There, when you go to, that's so you're kind of out. Now you're way outside of Michigan.
But you say, for example, if you wanted to take a bus.
I can't see Michigan very well because you're focused more on Minnesota.
No, I'm here, Travesty City. Here.
Well, one way. So if you go further to the right, and then you go upwards, there's Mackinac City, and there's this Mackinac Bridge, and it connects the what's called the Lower Peninsula to the Upper Peninsula.
This is how can I say?
Mackinac Island. That's a big tourist town.
What is this?
That's I believe that's the Mackinac Bridge.
Oh, a bridge. Whoa. Oh.
Yeah.
Look. Oh my God. How long is that? Is this?
I think that's the Mackinac Bridge. Yeah.
Jesus, man. Beautiful.
And it connects to the Lower Peninsula of Michigan to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And if you go up to the Upper Peninsula, if you go to the place called Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, there we go, Sault Ste. Marie State Forest Area. And that connects to Sault Ste. Marie, Canada.
Oh, wow. But it's very far, right? No, or not so far.
I think it's like 100 miles or something. I
100?
don't know the
No, nothing.
kilometers.
No, but I know. Sorry. I'm thinking in kilometers. It's different.
I can look it up.
100? Miles. How can I see miles? Oh, no, it's not. It's like 2 hours in a car, maybe.
I think it's a little longer than that, but oh, it's saying
I can't believe
2
2
hours
hours.
and 49 minutes.
What?
But 2 hours and 49 minutes to go from Traverse City to Sault Ste. Marie.
Wow.
There's a Sault Ste. Marie, Canada.
Well, yes, it's not so far.
So that's connected right to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It's Ontario, Canada. Yeah, now you're way off you're in Kansas. That's where Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz lived.
Well,
Well, you're getting kind of a headache with the zooming in on the map.
what?
I'm getting a little bit of a headache with you zooming in on the map.
With this?
Yeah.
No. Okay, I want to stop. Okay, Lorenzo, I have to go.
Well, thanks for.
So we solve all the problems in the comics book industry in this.
I think so.
Stream?
I think there'll be no more like
Fights
silly fighting or
yeah.
anything. I think everything's okay now.
This is a work well done with the Sleestak company. So good job, Lorenzo. See you next time.
Thanks for joining the show.
Bye.
Oh yeah, so Mike says that yes, it connects to the Atlantic. So apparently the Great Lakes apparently at some point connect to the Atlantic Ocean. Just Lake Illinois. Peaches. How did you solve it? Good question. I'm not sure how anything got solved on this stream. It's been kind of an unusual stream. It sounds like a lot of people are over watching Vic's channel for some reason. Not sure what's going on there. Well, I shouldn't say some reason. Yeah, I've been on Vic's channel a few times before. I'm just I'm just not sure what's going on the show, though. Drama. You've been shunned. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. There's just, it's, I don't know. Just hosting an open panel, hoping people have fun. Yeah, it was good to have Leon Fuyan. I said some controversial things a bit earlier. That was interesting. He was, yeah, I don't know what's going on though. Oh, it looks like he stopped streaming an hour ago. A stream called "Screw You." Well, that's a nice sounding title. I'm sure that'll really help his business selling comics. The stream called "Screw You." Maybe it's about like a screwdriver. I missed the start of So yeah, the things George was on. Liam was even in the chat for a little while. I don't, I don't know. So the guy who, my friend who was quite often the co-host in the past is he had an emergency type situation where he couldn't make it. I'll leave it up to him if he wants to talk about it later on. I don't think he's in any danger or anything, but just wasn't able to make it. But the link is in the chat if people want to. Yeah, I think he's okay. Yeah, I don't think it's anything like he's any sort of life-threatening kind of thing. Just don't want to like. He said something in a DM, so since it was in a DM and not like say a public tweet or whatever, you don't want to go into detail. Stranger danger. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about what Extreme was about, but I think somebody had mentioned him earlier. I mean, before you came in, I think somebody else had mentioned it. Oh yeah, Liam was having a launch stream for Dinale King. I think that's why he was here, and he had to get going. George had to start preparing for his own YouTube show. That's everything. Just kidding. Vega's fighting with Finity. Yeah, it seemed like Finity. I'm going to try to phrase things carefully. Seems like there's a lot of arguments going on with between the captain and Captain Finity and other people. That's all I'll say on the topic. I haven't watched his channel in a long time. Not going to tell people you got to pick a side or whatever. People can watch what they want to watch. I just I used to enjoy his streams, and now I just watch some other streams. Yeah, I don't like that whole idea of picking a side. Not the biggest fan of Captain Finn. He's not the biggest fan of mine either. He's got me blocked on Twitter, but and I'm not sure all of the context and whatnot. But if you can get along with, maybe you could be a good influence on him or whatever. I don't know. That's how I look at things. Like you heard he was upset with Jack Stafford and calling him Stack Jafford. But, Jack's friends with a lot of people I'm not friends with. But I figure, it's good that, different people have friends, and maybe Jack can, be, a positive influence in someone's life, Carol, maybe you can be a positive influence in Infinity's life, or somebody else, it's somebody else I don't get along with, or whatever, it's really not my place to say you can or can't hang out with people. I used to be like that, especially there was I had a bunch of people blocked too, and both people from Comicsgate and people who were like ex or very much critical of Comicsgate, like used to have like a bunch of Renfamous friends blocked, and a bunch of like Ethan's customers, fans blocked, and all this. And I just realized it's like was getting like in a smaller and smaller echo chamber, and I had blocked most of the people on Twitter. I don't even know if I have anybody blocked, completely blocked on YouTube. There's some people hidden from the channel, mainly bot accounts. But I don't like the whole. There are some people I really just don't go to their streams because I can't get along with them, and I'd say Affinity is one of them. But on the other hand, I'm not going to say, "Oh, you can't be in Infinity's chat." That's as I said, there is a time when I might have done something like that, but I learned things over the past year or two. I mean, because I ended up becoming friends with some people and people were playing guilt by association with me. So try not to do that, Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't think you have to. No, I gotta be careful how I phrase things, and it's not about you, but so there's a common perception that okay, so one person does something that another person disagrees with, and then it's commonly thought that like another person who's friends with that person must work for them, like that other person's their boss, like Affinity is somebody's boss, and he's telling all these people to do all this stuff. And now I have zero proof of anything like that. Like people accuse me of like working for different people that like because I follow that person's account on internet, maybe talk to somebody on Discord or whatever. But I think things are typically more complicated than that. Not to say I never get like say conspiratorial or whatever, but I think people can kind of come up with like a narrative in their head because they just don't know how things work. And so like for instance, I supposedly am part of, like according to some people, I'm part of the Vicky campaign. Like I supposedly work for the Vickyverse, and like she supposedly like I'm like supposedly her employee or something. I don't understand what the reality. She's just somebody I've known for a long time and been friends with on the internet a long time. I never met her in person. There's lots of things about her life I'm sure I don't really know about, because you just know each other online. And occasionally have discussions. But it's like, but I supposedly am like doing all sorts of evil things on her behalf or whatever, and it's silly. It's a silly guilt by association thing. It's just, and so I try not to engage in that, and I sorry if I ever end up doing that with people, because I don't think it's typically as simple as, I don't think it typically works that way, that this one person will give somebody else an order and they'll do something. I think that's actually kind of rare, like, especially with the internet. I think people kind of do what they want, and like maybe I'll see something on Twitter and I see a friend comments on something I see in my Twitter feed, and I'll make my own comment, and then there'll become some sort of conspiracy that I'm working with that person, when that's actually just kind of how Twitter works. That's kind of how social media works. And not making any accusations about you. I'm just explaining my own personal situation. Yeah, I've never once heard you tell anyone, Carol, who they could or couldn't be friends with. That doesn't even make any sense. Why? It's like, I used to be like that, but it's like, well, wait a second. I'm not, all these people on the internet, I'm not their dad. I don't have the grown adults, I don't have a right to tell somebody what to do, and so I try to work on the whole thing with not playing guilt by association, because it can be very tempting, because there does seem to be a lot of social cliques within, say, YouTube and Twitter communities. I don't know. Some people like using that word. Some people don't. But as Carol says, I will never tell anyone that if they want to be friends with me, there are conditions such as you can't be friends with a certain person because I personally don't like them. Yeah, that's yeah. I'll be honest. I think about Affinity. I really he, though at times I think he can be extremely witty. It can be funny, and we can say some sort of real, like, thought-provoking things, but there's also, I just don't really, there's also like a big aspect of his personality that just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I don't get along with the guy, but I'm not going to give anybody an ultimatum. I mean, for the longest time, I think Jack Stafford was somebody who would watch his show, and I don't know why he's arguing with, I don't know why he's upset with Jack, but so it's not even a point of whose side I'm on, says Carol. I don't feel I'm on either side. There are things that I like and dislike about both of them, and they know this. It's more about, don't tell me who I can be friends with. Well, wait. So I'm kind of curious with So if you're talking about Vic, Vic had Finity on like Hiawatha, or, Shep and I were on Vic's channel. Seemed like we were starting to have fun, and all of a sudden, Finity showed up, and because Vic brought him on the panel. Now he does have an open panel, and so, but this was a few weeks ago, and seems like Vic goes from getting along with Finity to not getting along. And I think that happens with, that I think there's a lot of people who like Finity and a lot of people who dislike the guy, and kind of controversial figure. But it's just weird that, like, okay, I'm friends with, somebody's like, say, I want to be very careful. I like Vic. But if he's like, oh, you got to be friends with, you got to get along with Finity now, and now you can't get along with him. If that's what he's saying, then maybe there's some things he could like re-examine. Maybe he could re-examine that, because he was getting along with him just a few weeks ago. So, not saying he should get along with him, but I don't think he should judge somebody simply for getting along with Finity or being friends with Finity or whatever. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. It seems like you get along with Finity, but there's really no reason for me to believe that you're spying on his behalf. The situation with Suzanne was kind of weird, because she was in some friends of mine chats and seemed to be enjoying the show, and then all of a sudden ended up in Finity's chat complaining about the channels. I don't know what that was all about. That was kind of weird. I don't know if that means that, like, Trinity is giving her marching orders or anything. I really don't know Suzanne all that well. But I've known you for quite a while. I don't see you as Carol as picking sides, and I think it seemed like you just like to hang out with a lot of different people. Like, just like with my buddy Jack likes to hang out with a lot of different people. And that's cool. That's good that there's some people who can kind of traverse, different communities. Yeah, I don't see why. I don't think that it should be an issue with, like, why. It's like we're not in high school or junior high. We're like, a lot of us are, like, at least I'm middle-aged. So why would it matter? It's like, you're friends with so and so. You can't do that. It's like, well, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of a, like, childish behavior, because no, Carol, sorry, I'm repeating myself, but you're like somebody I think, you're somebody I'd want to be friends with, like, different, maybe somebody I don't get along with, because I believe you to be a good person, and I think you could, maybe that could rub off on that other person that I don't get along with. And I'm not saying that these other people, are, let's say, Infinity's evil person or whatever, but I'm just saying it's like, well, maybe if somebody's friends with somebody I'm not friends with, but maybe I'm friends with somebody who's friends with somebody I'm not friends with. Well, maybe just think that they could be like I like John Dillard. If I get along with John Dillard, I like John Dillard. Dillard talks to a lot of people. If he wants to be friends with someone, well, John Dillard, as far as I'm concerned, is a good guy. He's better. Dillard's, friends with someone, or you're friends with someone. I know you're totally different people. Then somebody be completely shunned, and because if nobody talks to someone, that can be a really bad situation. If somebody's completely shunned and they have no one to talk to, that can make this that makes things even worse. Everybody needs, pretty much, if somebody's not like a hermit, like living off in like some hermit monk living off in the forest, hanging out with the grizzly bears or whatever, like we got this, like the stories of the saints or whatever, like Saint Francis of Assisi or whatever. But you got most people don't do well if they don't have any sort of social interaction, and I'd rather have it be someone I believe in, like you, Carol, or somebody like Jack Stafford, be friends with, with somebody I don't get along with. Sorry, I keep repeating myself. I wasn't around for the Suzanne drama. Was on Australia. Well, that's cool. And I see it off YouTube. Well, that's awesome. If you can get along with loads of people, says Carol, I'm able to separate them from others when I form a friendship with them. Yeah, I mean, that's just being a mature person. It's like, yeah, we're not like little kids. We should be able to hang out with whoever we want to hang out. And speaking of Jack, welcome to the chat. Apparently, I have made the stream about myself. It might as well be about something. So I didn't really have any real planned topic for tonight. I started talking a little bit about it's called something like Honkai. Can't pronounce that word. It's like a Chinese pronunciation of or adaptation of a Japanese word. Honkai Star Rail. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Got this locomotive that travels through space to different planets. Really, it just doesn't really just depict the flying part, but you just end up on these different planets, and you end up having the person controls these different characters where people go around and go on these different adventures and try to help people out. It's a fun game. I started to talk about that a little bit, but I didn't really have much of a topic planned for tonight because it's a lot of stuff's been going on, and Oh, 6 weeks. That's really cool. Yeah, I hadn't seen you around as much, so I didn't. That's awesome. Do you mind saying which part of Australia, which state? That's a awfully big. I mean, it's a continent, right? It's got just like vast territories. I'm not sure, how much of it is rural. My understanding much of the outback is. Yeah, did you know they don't really travel around in root pouches? Well, that's a surprise. I would have thought they would. Adelaide. I've heard of Adelaide. I'm not quite sure where that's located. I used to listen a lot to podcasts from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, or the ABC, not to be confused with the American Broadcasting Corporation. I think things have gotten kind of politically correct on there, but it used to be ABC, and there was I think it's, what is it, SBS? It's like Special Broadcasting Service or something like that. Another public radio and public TV channel. I mean, I know a lot of countries don't have channels that are quite as commercial as American channels. I mean, though they do have advertisements, I believe, on those channels, but I believe they're also taxpayer subsidized. Adelaide is lovely, says Jack. Far south cultivated, laugh out loud. We went to Victor Harbor. OMG, I wanted to stay forever. Oh, in South Australia. It's not near Risey, laugh out loud. I believe Risey's from Perth. I don't think I'm doxing him. I believe he said that before. Adelaide or any part of South Australia was never a present colony. Proud of that. America kind of, I think the New England colonies were they kind of serve as kind of a place for people that weren't necessarily welcome in Great Britain. I think kind of ended up in the original 13 colonies. So that's something that I remember an Aussie friend pointing that out to me before, many years ago, that Americans talk a lot about the whole Australia penal colony thing, but a lot of the people who ended up in what became the United States were, if not not criminals, but were definitely, a lot were kind of fleeing the British Isles, as well as some other countries. like in the 1700s and 1800s. I mentioned the Irish earlier. And the Italians, a lot of folks came over in the 1800s. From what was it? I can't remember exactly when they call that the Great Famine, Irish Potato Famine happened, and I believe a lot of Ulster Scots, or what we call Scots Irish, ended up coming over as well from Northern Ireland. Like the Ulster region. It's my understanding that there were these land barons, and I think they were maybe like higher, kind of higher social status, Scottish people. But then there were some Scottish people, Irish people of lower status that were, and I think a lot of the food got maybe exported to England or something, or the wealthier Ulster Scottish people, the wealthier people, the land barons, somehow like took the food that, and like the poor people had just maybe mainly the potatoes to survive off of, and then there was like a potato blight, and so a lot of people ended up dying. It wasn't like the only potatoes there, is my understanding. It was the best food wasn't necessarily, or the other food wasn't necessarily available. That is odd. I'm not sure how your cat got the burrito. People always think all of Australia was a penal colony, but made up of several colonies, most free. Before 1776, we all know where prisoners were sent instead laugh out loud, closer, cheaper, faster to send to America. Yeah. And then there were also the people who were kind of, there was a lot of like religious wars in the British Isles. And in fact, I know was the English Bill of Rights or the British Bill of Rights. Actually, right in there, it says that the monarch can't be Catholic. And so to this day, somebody will have to, like, if they're Catholic, they have to convert to, I don't know if it has to be Protestant. It'd be interesting if somebody was Orthodox, because Orthodox Church is in communion with the Catholic Church. But at least not full communion yet. There are some bishops who might allow there might be some Orthodox bishop who allows a Catholic to receive the sacraments, or if there's maybe not an Orthodox church, maybe you can go to the Catholic Church for sacraments, but I think that's fairly rare. So it'd be interesting to see what would happen if there was somebody was like, say, like in the British royal family and converted to the Orthodox Church, if they'd be eligible to be in line to be king, or if you have to be Anglican, like could somebody be like Church of Scotland? I believe that's Presbyterian. They have an Anglican Church of Scotland, church in Scotland as well. Could they become king if they were I mean, if they were in line to be king and they were like Protestant or say Orthodox or something, is it just Catholics that they can't be? You can't be. Oh, the king has to leave the Anglican Church, so not just Protestant, you have to be Anglican. It sounds like. Yeah, I just remember hearing somebody who was Catholic and they married into the royal family and then converted to Protestantism. That will happen, or people will just decide not to be officially in line for to be like a leader, to be like nobility, or no, what's the term? To be nobility? Like sometimes I've heard people will resign from their from like responsibilities if they they want to be like Catholic or part of the royal family. Small parts of Australia became penal colonies only after 1776, and America was no longer taking British prisoners. True history is tricky, that's for sure. King of England has to be an Anglican. He's the Pope of that religion. I think it's more like I think. Well, there's the Archbishop of Canterbury, but I think it's more like the situation where, could be wrong, but like the Emperor, like Emperor Constantine, presided over the Council of Nicaea, even though they're like bishops at the council. And to this day, in the Orthodox Church, you got all these different heads of state who are they have a special role in the church. Like even like Haile Selassie was like in Ethiopia was. Want to be careful. Like Christ is the head of the church, but he was like the Emperor Haile Selassie had a special role in the church, like kind of like with the Tsars in Russia or the Caesars and East Roman, Byzantine and empire. He would preside over ecumenical councils. I mean, I've even heard that I think the Israeli Knesset, or maybe it was the prime minister or something, used to have to approve like the Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem, Eastern Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem. I think no, this was just according to, I think, to church rules. It wasn't like the Israeli government insisted. It was like a tradition that I think finally the Jerusalem Patriarchate got rid of that requirement. Oh, and the Knesset is actually on Eastern Orthodox land. From what I recall, I believe it's being rented. The Israeli Parliament is being rented from the Orthodox Church, which just like I think shows just like how much land the Orthodox Church owns. Same thing with the Catholic Church and some other churches. Land ownership was like a big thing. I think it might be because early Christians were originally communal. like the way that the monks are. Even to this day, I know like the apostle. There were people like apostles who used to go door to door begging, and they'd be and they would I think they would stay with a family for a while, like perform their services and stuff, and then they'd move on to a different house. Pretty fascinating part of history as far as I'm concerned. But eventually those apostles are said to have been like lost power to the bishops, and of course the way that a lot of church, historical churches have seen things like the Orthodox Church, the Catholic Church. I think the Church of the East would say that the bishops themselves are successors to the original apostles. Aristocracy. I think you're right. The English sovereign is the defender of the faith, not quite the Pope of it. Yeah. So yeah, I think the closest thing to a Pope be more like a kind of in the old-fashioned way of doing things. The Pope, I think, was considered the first amongst equals and had a primacy of honor. And I think that would be the equivalent in the Anglican churches, the churches affiliated with the Church of England, such as the Episcopal Church, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure Jack knows what I'm talking about, but I think the closest thing would be the Archbishop of Canterbury. He's an archbishop, and for some reason he's not considered the patriarch. For some reason, I don't think the Anglican Church calls their most respected, bishop a patriarch, even though I think they could. I mean, I don't see what's stopping them, but maybe it's because originally the Archbishop of Canterbury was like under the Pope, as far as the Pope would have had a primacy of honor. As time went on, the empire, let's see, when the Roman Empire fell apart, it was continuously sacked by like barbarian tribes, as the Romans would have referred to them. These various Germanic tribes. No insult to the Germanic peoples by using the term barbarian, but that's what the Romans would have considered tribes. I think what happened was there was a big power vacuum, and the Pope helped keep things stable because the emperor was way off in Constantinople, and like that was so far away, and the emperor spoke Koinagri, and like as time went on, there were fewer Greek speakers, and the educated people would speak Latin, but they got so fewer and fewer could speak Greek. Maybe some could like study things, could say like read Greek, but maybe they couldn't communicate and like with people who spoke Greek in Constantinople. So there was this big power vacuum in the West. I mean, Rome was so far from Constantinople, or the Turks call it Istanbul. So I think the Pope over time had to become bit of a, one could argue that the Pope had to become more of a political figure out of necessity. I'm not sure. I'm just, this is what I've heard. I'm not sure if it's accurate, but then it got to the point of like Charlemagne, and I think he was a Frank. I mean, the Frankish Germanic tribe, but he did have quite a bit of like Latin style Roman influence. Not like Greek Roman like in Constantinople, but I do think I believe he spoke Latin, and I think the Franks had been quite like Latinized, and but so the Pope ended up presiding over the coronation, but I'm trying to remember if he was the one who just like grabbed the crown and put it on himself and kind of skipped over the Pope. I can't remember. I've heard that with like one of the Holy Roman Emperors. Now, the creation of a Holy Roman Empire really aggravated the so-called Byzantines, the East Romans, because they considered themselves really the only like true Romans, and then all of a sudden there's these like Frankish people who are like now calling themselves the Holy Roman Empire. But it's really complicated as far as ethnicity, because the Romans weren't just one ethnic group. Like the people we would now think of like as Greeks, would thought of themselves as Romans, when they ruled the Roman Empire. So it's really complicated. So Prime Minister Tony Blair married a Catholic, didn't convert until he was knighted. Interesting. Does someone have to convert if they're knighted? When out of office? Or did he convert to Catholicism after he was knighted? Read about the Archbishop. I think the Pope type authority is divided between him and the king. I don't know. There's what's known as Caesar Popism, where there's like, say, a Caesar, or like another word for Caesar is Tsar, Kaiser too. And they would rule. The emperors used to have a big role in Christianity, and still do in certain regions of the world. Well, or head of state still does in certain regions of the world. I mean, they said like with the first council, the first ecumenical council, the Council of Nicaea, was presided over by Emperor Constantine, Saint Constantine in the Orthodox Church. So it's an interesting situation where at the same time, there was a pope, and then there were these other patriarchs, like the ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople, though didn't even have the title ecumenical patriarch at the time, but there would be like the patriarch of Jerusalem, patriarch of Antioch, etc. Oh, Jack says, I meant Tony. So was it Tony Blair? Married a Catholic woman, didn't convert during term for political reasons or kept it private until after he was knighted, then converted. Well, that's like, yeah, I can see that happening. I'm adding a couple world history credits to my transcript after this live stream, says Dulfer. Well, you're welcome on the stream. Scandal not because he is Catholic, just the way he did it. Interesting. Well, folks are welcome to join the stream. If people don't end up joining, though, I'm probably going to call this a night. Getting kind of tired. And no pun intended, since apparently Tony Blair was knighted. Why? I don't know. Seems like it seems like somebody that one might not want to make a knight. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, it'd be like if George W. Bush had been British and not American, and then got knighted. It's like, I don't quite understand that. Where are his loyalties? Tony Blair was knighted because of his leadership during the Gulf War. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that. So a war where his leadership, and no disrespect intended to the veterans, but his leadership during a war where they were looking for non-existent weapons of mass destruction. I mean, Saddam was a pretty brutal ruler, I believe, but after he was killed, he was put on, I think he was put on trial and executed. I'm trying to remember. But then, the Christians were the traditional Syrian, Aramaic speaking Christians. Jesus spoke a form of Aramaic. They've been pretty heavily persecuted, and then now the Christians in Syria are being persecuted as well due to was it NATO intervention, or the U.S. and some of its allies. Clearly, George W. Bush was given an honorary. George W. Bush was given an honorary knighthood too. Oh, gosh. Schwarzkopf and Powell. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, those are the last people I would think should be rewarded for anything. Yeah, a participation trophy. Oh, HW. No, H not W. So George Herbert Walker Bush, not George Walker Bush Senior, not Junior. But Blair was in the really bad, like, again, I don't mean anything against veterans, but like the bad sequel. I mean, the Gulf War itself was like devastating enough to, I mean, the first one where, I remember reading that like there were actually more women in there, like in Saddam Hussein's government before the first Gulf War than during the and later on. Interesting. And Kuwait, which was liberated from Saddam's control, the women couldn't vote there for. I mean, now they can. They couldn't during that war. So it was kind of weird. Like, what sort of democracy were they really? Were troops defending there? On the other hand, from what I've heard that Saddam's troops came back just like from Kuwait, and they were just like covered in. A friend of mine said who served in the first Gulf War that they were just covered in gold, like I don't know if it's gold chains or whatever, like the rappers back in the day or what it was, but like this. So I mean. So what from what I heard, they did kind of really plunder Kuwait, but I don't know, it's a messy situation. And U.S. reason for going in, like the whole Saddam Hussein, like gassing the Kurds back in the 1980s. I mean, back in the Reagan, I think it was back in the Reagan years. And then all of a sudden under Bush Sr., like, using that as an excuse. Those chemical weapons were said to, I'll just say in Minecraft, have been, chemicals were said to have been sold to Iraq by Americans. So it's kind of, I think it's kind of interesting that when Iraq was fighting against Iran, U.S. government turned a blind eye to Saddam Hussein's use of chemical weapons on the Kurds. I think he might have used it against the Iranian people as well, because it was said he was being, from what I've heard, he was being propped up by the U.S. To fight against Iran during the. I always wondered when I was a little kid why Iran and Iraq were constantly fighting. I used to watch the news, like during supper time at my house, and they're just always like, it seems so senseless. Why are these two countries right next to each other constantly fighting? And it turned out when I was older, I ended up finding out, oh yeah, that was the U.S. was funding or at least supporting somehow Saddam Hussein. Obama also supported. Obama was in office. He was supporting Gaddafi in Libya. He was working with Gaddafi in Libya because Gaddafi was capturing people whom the U.S. government or CIA said was said were terrorists. Maybe they were terrorists. I don't really know much about the situation, but then Obama and Hillary Clinton and leader of France and Great Britain, they all decided to go in and topple Gaddafi, and now there's the slave trade in the streets of in Libya, slave auctions. So this is almost funny. The Queen and General Schwarzkopf. Well, yeah, folks can check that out. That channel. This has been a very unusual stream for me. Didn't have too many panelists today. I remember George was on. Mr. Yanafui was on, and Mahmoud was on. I hope I didn't forget anybody. Had quite a few people pop into the chat, even if only briefly, including quite a few gamers, quite a few comic book fans as well, and people from other channels. So I think it's been interesting. I do like being able to interact with the chat, and that is difficult when we've got a full panel. On the other hand, I think a lot of people might find it more entertaining if there were, like, let's say just like 3 or 4 people on the panel or something, at least. I think it's that, and people interacting in the chat are both good. But I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight, or this morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Might be the afternoon, wherever you are. Well, I'm always learning stuff too, and that's the thing. That's why I don't know. I mean, I think one thing came to mind when a couple things when I was planning out this show. I think one of the things I like to talk about sometime is that Honkai Impact game. I don't know, there was some stuff in the news today, but I kind of forgot about it. And there was some stuff a couple weeks ago that I didn't cover. The Opera GX gaming browser has a VTuber spokesperson, and she seems to be a good VTuber. It's just some people are concerned because there's a lot more companies that have their own of virtual streamers, and it used to be kind of, I don't know. Some people are kind of concerned about the commercialization of VTuber subculture, but it's been going on quite some time. Quite a few of the HoloLive VTubers have deals with big companies like Luna. She has a deal with Yamaha company. Corone, the dog girl, VTuber dog god. She's got a deal with she's an ambassador for Sega, or for the Sonic ambassador, and she's done some work with. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog VTuber, so Sega even has its own like VTuber playing the Sonic character. So it's an interesting situation. So that was something seems like there was something I heard about just today that I was going to talk about. I don't know. There was also the thing with I didn't really know whether or not I was feeling well enough to go on air and stream tonight. So anyway, so I wasn't really able to plan out the show because I wasn't feeling too well. So I didn't really put a lot of planning into the show. There are things I had seen throughout the week, but I didn't really get a chance to research them. Anyway, I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestak. We stream to YouTube, Facebook, and I attempted to stream this week to Kick instead of Twitch, but that malfunctioned, and I'm going to have to see how to get that working. Have an excellent night or day, everyone. We stream every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody.